Oh my goodness, I'm Max Garcia, and you're also going to see Jordy and Diego, and we're talking about the true spectacle whenever you go to a SpaceX launch. It's not the ascent of the actual rocket, no, it's the descent of the boosters. That's what's truly fantastic. And here's Jordy with the history of these reusable boosters.
The first of SpaceX's reusable rockets, named the Falcon 9, was launched in June 4th of 2010. And then in March 30th of 2017, SpaceX did the unthinkable when they launched the Falcon 9 rocket for a second time. This had marked the first time in aerospace history in which a rocket had been used more than once. The origins of the SpaceX reusable rockets dates back to 2005, when the company announced that they will be shifting their focus to developing these reusable rockets.
The holy grail is really a fully reusable orbital system, by far the most important thing. It's like the difference between having aircraft that are reusable or not, or cars. The profundity of this is not well understood by very many people.
The company's CEO, Elon Musk, is often credited for developing these reusable rockets.
So you just heard it. Back in early 2017, SpaceX was finally successful after many failed attempts at trying to get back their rockets. They did it in early 2017, first on land, and then what's even harder is that they got it on an autonomous drone ship out in the ocean. It landed on that. Pretty impressive. And how it works is that the rockets separated into stages, and what their goal is to recover stage one. And stage one is kind of like the main rocket that gets it off of Earth's gravity, and it just sends off into space, and it still has a little fuel left that it could do micro adjustments, like blowing air out on each side, and it's gonna try and land using a bunch of projections and data and number crunching. It's a whole process. And here's Diego with the history of SpaceX and their major accomplishments.
What are SpaceX achievements? SpaceX is ran by Elon Musk, also being the CEO of Tesla. SpaceX achievements include the first funded liquid propellant rocket to reach orbit, which was Falcon 1 in 2008. They were also the first private company to successfully launch, orbit, and recover a spacecraft, which was Dragon in 2010. SpaceX was the first private company to send a spacecraft to the International Space Station, which was Dragon in 2012. Elon Musk pulled off another seemingly impossible feat when SpaceX launched the world's most powerful rocket in 45 years. Then flew two of its spent boosters back to the Florida coast for a spectacular simultaneous recovery on land. Those being one of SpaceX's best achievements, along with many more.
And hopefully soon, one of those major accomplishments would be the company that gets us to Mars. But that's like 5-10 years down the line. And also want to give a quick credit to Blue Origin. They also got reusable rockets working, but they're a small private company, and also their reusable rockets never actually exited the Earth's atmosphere, unlike SpaceX. So what SpaceX did and is doing is harder than what Blue Origin did. Just saying. And I'm supposed to talk about world event at this time, so we could talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, from Colin Kaepernick kneeling to George Floyd to now Jacob Blake. We could talk about the 2016 presidential election. We could talk about AirPods, iPhone X, Tesla, electric car sales. That's all that's been happening around this late 2010s decade. And also what has led to this reusable rocket technology is just advancement in AI, computer processing, radars, like sensors, a lot better and lighter fuel compounds, better and lighter materials over time. This has all led up to these reusable rockets. And why is this important leading up to our future? Well, without reusable rockets, SpaceX and other private companies like Blue Origin and et cetera, they wouldn't be financially stable enough, because with reusable rockets, that saves about 30% per launch, and that adds up over time. When you're saving 30%, it's like if you had to buy an iPhone every time like your phone died. like every single day. Like, oh, it just died. Oh, okay, I gotta buy a new one. No, but you could just get a charger and SpaceX could just reuse it, and that saves a bunch of time and money, both important. And that's gonna lead us to the Starship, which SpaceX is making, which is gonna be the most powerful rocket ever. And this rocket is kind of the rocket that SpaceX is targeting for round trips to the moon and eventually a round trip to Mars. How long will that be until? I think we're getting really close. And Elon Musk has the goal of that in the near future, anyone who wants to go to space can go to space. And I think that is awesome that could potentially be a reality. Thank you for watching. Make sure you listen. Peace out.
But then gas car, you're like, what?